What's going on, fellow park enthusiasts? It's the Park Geeks here. It's Curt and Justin, and I'm at another one of Curt's home parks. I am at Six Flags Discovery Kingdom in
Vallejo,
California.
Vallejo, California.
Gesundheit. And I've been here once before, but I haven't had a chance to try everything that's here, especially this new Batman coaster.
Right.
Because I had yet to go on a roller coaster where the seats stick out from the side like that.
Mm-hmm. And it spins too. Seats spin.
All right, so this I can't wait to see. So let's go and check out Batman.
All right.
Okay, that was actually a pleasant surprise. First of all, there was actually a lot more theming than I expected.
Yeah.
There was actually like little set pieces in the queue. That's pretty...
That's unusual for Six Flags to go that all in.
Yeah.
On, theming the queue line.
Yeah, and...
I think that's actually the most elaborately themed queue line at this park.
Yeah, there's even a Batmobile right outside. That was cool to see.
Yep.
And as far as the track goes, or the ride, what can I say about it? It's like that carnival ride, the Zipper, but on a track. It's actually, and sadly, this poor man has not been on one of those yet.
Yeah, sorry. Want to. And
that was actually pretty unique because, for one thing, it showed me when it comes to coasters, speed isn't necessarily everything. Speed's a lot of fun, but for this, it was all about the tumbles.
Yeah, so you get the tumbles, and that's one of the selling points of the ride. It's never the same ride twice. Because the amount of tumbling depends on where you sit, and it depends on the weight distribution.
Yeah, and the other thing, too, that they could have done to add to the theming was if there was speakers somewhere on like the seats or the ride, and you hear Batman say he's about to throw his batarang, and when he throws it, that's when you hear the sound effects go off. You can hear it like hitting villains, getting knocked out by it, because the track layout kind of reminds me of the batarang or the bat symbol. So this surprisingly had some pretty good theming to it.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I finally got a chance to try out one of these coasters. But now, let's check out the Superman one, because I only did that once last time. And
Love that ride.
And since riding Icebreaker, I now have something to compare it to.
Yep.
So let's go ahead and check that one out.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. All right, we just got off Superman, and comparing that to Icebreaker, that was intense.
Yeah, it's an intense little ride. It's a short ride, but boy, does it pack a lot of punch in there.
Yeah, and honestly, you can feel the ejector as well, because again, this is an ejector ride. And God, like, you almost feel like you're about to fly right out of this thing with some of the maneuvers you do on this.
Yeah.
And especially when you're sitting in the front, you can actually stick your hands out Superman style.
Yep, that's fun.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. But how would you compare this to Icebreaker?
Yeah, well, it's the same manufacturer. It's multi-launch. So it's got kind of the same idea where the train starts and goes back and forth a bit to build up speed. So that's kind of fun. This one is faster and it's taller than Icebreaker. But of course, Icebreaker is the longer ride. So it depends kind of which one you're in for.
Yeah.
But this is also the more intense ride too.
Oh God, yes.
This has multiple vertical elements to it, and you got those twists going up the hill, which is really a lot of fun. Yeah. I really love when you pick up the speed on the second launch to the station, and you're going up. You're shooting upwards, and you got the twist, and then you go over the top, and you got another twist. Those are just perfectly laid out there.
Definitely. And the other thing too, again, going back to the theming, I thought this would be kind of like with what we just said last time, like it was basically lip service. But honestly, just like with the Batman ride, they actually could add a pretty cool story to this, where basically trapped and you're about to ride Superman and he's going to get you to safety. However, they could have easily put like speakers on there saying that we have to do some evasive maneuvers to get away from these people. Like when you're flying in the air, you get to hear like maybe guns going off or cans, whatever. All I have to do is just make little adjustments, and they can make theming for a Six Flags attraction just excellent. The theming, again, was better than I remembered.
Yeah.
So, but let's go ahead and check out Joker.
Okay.
Okay, we just got off Joker, and that was actually better than I remembered.
Yep.
I actually, the queue was basically a short little fun house. It had the mirrors. It actually had, teeth that were chomping.
Right, the old chattering comic teeth, yes.
Although I don't get why they were playing Looney Tunes in the queue. Like, I get they own the rights, but...
Yeah, well, that's Six Flags. They have the rights to air the Looney Tunes cartoons, so they're going to use it.
I guess. But the other thing that impressed me, though, was coaster actually went upside down, because I've rarely seen that. I've rarely seen wooden coasters where it takes you upside down. And there's a moment in the ride where you go upside down and you stay there.
Yeah, that's pretty unique. That's something I think I haven't seen until RMC came along and started doing these conversions like that.
And you actually said there was like a different version of this ride?
Yeah, it was a different coaster. It didn't start life as Joker. It started life as Roar, which was a full-blown wood coaster made by GCI. Opened back in the late 90s. I think it was 1999, somewhere back around there. Really good wood coaster. I loved it, actually. It had its good years and its bad years, but the park actually went in and did some retracking at one point and made it really good again. So I was actually a bit sorry to see that go, because I'm a big wood coaster fan. And this is one. Joker now is one of the many RMC conversions of wood to kind of a hybrid coaster. They did that in 2016. Pretty much a signature ride. It's got sort of signature elements where you go upside down, you stay upside down for a while, and they have like kind of other thing they like to do is the fake. I call it the fake out turn. I don't know what the Fisher one, but you're going to go right. It's a right hand turn, but the track tilts to the left.
Yeah.
Just to kind of fake you out, and then it really recovers to the right. So you're kind of tilting the opposite way you're expecting, which is kind of fun.
Yeah.
And the other thing I like to do, they like, is they have on the dives, you've got like a barrel roll down on the dive, and this one has one near the top of the second hill going down, which is kind of a nice place to put kind of a barrel roll.
And this guy actually wishes that it was a bit faster. However, if you go faster, when you go to like that part where you're upside down, you hang it there for a while. If you go faster, you won't be able to enjoy it.
That's true, unless of course you make that section of track longer.
Yeah, that's true. Because when it goes at the speed that's at right now, you can actually enjoy it for just the fact you're hanging there for a while. And again, going back to the theming, again, if they like had speakers on there of the Joker like taunting you, especially like doing his laugh when you're about to go through all that wood and it looks so chaotic, that would be fantastic. Or if like Joker was taunting you throughout the ride. I mean, there's even like a few sections of the park where you could have easily had like some actor dressed up as Joker, like again, taunting you through it, but granted that would cost money. It would create a good job, but the closest thing we'll probably get is an animatronic.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and check out the Wonder Woman's Lasso of Truth.
Yes, very truthful.
Okay, this one, it's fun, don't get me wrong.
It is fun.
But the theming is really just lip service on this. I mean, given all the other examples I've given, it moves in the motion of her lasso, but even then that's a stretch.
Right, well it's got a spinny thing. It's kind of like a lasso spinning.
But that being said, it was still fun.
Yes, it's definitely a fun ride. I very much enjoy it.
Yeah, especially when you come down that swing, you feel it.
Yeah, when it's really going. Yeah, the thing is, the specs say it hits a top speed of 68 miles an hour. I've actually heard other ride operators claim it hits 72, which is either way, that makes it the fastest ride in the park.
It's also the longest too, right?
It's got the longest ride cycle of any ride in the park.
Yeah, and not to mention too, like when you actually come up, there's a moment where you, if you get at just the right spot, you feel like you're actually hanging upside down.
Yeah.
And that was actually, and you still get that feeling of weightlessness.
Oh yeah, when you get to the top of the pendulum swings, you get multiple seconds of weightlessness there. It's really great.
That's always fun to feel.
Yeah.
But with that being said, let's go and check out the Flash.
All right.
Okay, bummer. It was closed.
Yeah, they're still doing a major refurb on that ride.
Yeah, but luckily you have been on this thing.
I have.
What's it like?
Many times. It's an impulse ride. It's been around since 2001. It's a lot of fun. It's actually right now the second fastest ride in the park. It's listed as a top speed of 65 miles an hour, so it's just behind Wonder Woman. It's actually quite a lot of fun. It's a launch coaster, and I just love launch coasters, particularly if you get in the front row. And I particularly like on the rear spike of these style, the impulse coasters, if you sit in the back seat, and when you go up there, you get up as high as you possibly can on the spike at the end, and you get this really wonderful free fall all the way down the spike. That's vertical down to the ground. That's the best part of the ride for me.
Yeah, and the Flash was all about speed, so it makes sense. And all these rides were located in the DC Universe section of the park, and I gotta say, the theming was actually better than I remembered. I gave obviously examples of how it could have been better, but it does feel like there's a little bit more than just lip service with these.
Yeah, they put some effort into that side of the park. They kind of added a few rides, and then they decided to go all in and call the whole thing DC Universe.
Yeah, now we couldn't do the Penguin one because I guess it's still a bit too cold here to do that.
Yeah, they haven't quite started up all their water rides yet. It's still kind of early in the season, so that one's going to wait a little bit till that one runs.
But with that being said, let's go ahead and check out a non-DC Universe ride. Let's check out Medusa.
Medusa, all right.
It's just Kraken.
Oh, but this one was here first.
Wait, really?
Yes, really. Medusa is a B&M floorless coaster. This one here opened at this park in March of 2000, and Kraken opened in June of 2000. And at least according to the specs on the roller coaster database, Medusa is 1 foot higher than Kraken. And they both have the same top speed, around 65 miles an hour. But funny though, Kraken is stretched out, definitely stretched out longer in the area because SeaWorld had more land to deal with. So Kraken actually feels like a bigger ride for some reason, even though it's only listed as about 200 feet longer in length of the ride, which I think is kind of interesting. The first part of the rides are both they're pretty much identical, except they made Medusa a little bit more compact. And about the last third of the ride is different. So Kraken does a few extra things because, like I said, it's got another 200 feet of track to work with.
Yeah, and I will say, I do like the fact that the queue is a temple, at least the exterior of it. Inside, there really wasn't much.
No, it's just a usual concrete queue house. Nothing going on in there.
Yeah, it's not exactly Legends of the Hidden Temple here, people.
Yeah.
But it is still a floorless coaster, which, again, I like that. And you'll see why when we check out Kong.
Yep.
And not the one you're thinking of. Okay, we just got off Kong,
yeah,
and yeah, and like I said, when our video about Great America, California, with these hang-down coasters, you can't see in front of you. The only thing you can only see if you're sitting in the front,
which is awesome, though.
Yeah. That being said, though, the ride was still fun.
Yeah, I definitely like this ride. It's a Vekoma SLC. Most roller coaster enthusiasts don't like these because they say they're too rough, or they've been copied and cloned at other parks too many times. This one, to my experience, runs better than most of them that I've been on at other parks. It's smoother. I believe they made some modifications to the trains a number of years ago that helped. At least it seemed that way to me. I think it's much more rideable. I actually kind of enjoy the ride. And like I said, if you're in the front row, the best about the Vekoma SLCs is the very end of the ride. You go through that barrel roll through the structure of the ride, and it looks like you're about to hit all the other supports and track work going on at the same time. And that end piece, I think, is really good. And the ride has good pacing, has lots of different elements and inversions, some decent G-forces. So I'm going to be contrarian on this, and I kind of like this ride.
Yeah, the ride is definitely a lot of fun. It is jittery. The only thing, aside from the view, that I did not like was the over-the-shoulder harness. Now, maybe it's because I'm a plus-size guy, and my head is fatter than normal, or than your average person, so the harness was, like, really close to your head on this thing. And if you're not careful, it will bop your head into these things. So
yeah, I mean, you do get the laterals on this too. So yeah.
Yeah, and but still, seeing all that beautifully twisted metal is just so cool to look at. And not to mention the queue, it almost kind of feels like you're walking through an empty monkey habitat. But all that aside, yeah, I don't understand why other coaster enthusiasts don't like these. I mean, granted, maybe it's because I'm not as experienced, but I still had fun with this thing. I mean, you're still at pretty good distance, and it's fun looking down, seeing the world beneath you. Yeah. And yeah, I don't get what the big deal is. It's fun.
Yeah, some of them get pretty rough though.
Yeah, and yes, we did do Boomerang, but come on, there's hundreds of these things. What more can we say about them?
Yeah, there's not much to say about them. It's a nice Boomerang, but it's a Boomerang coaster.
You know, all that being said, I gotta say, this park was better than I remembered.
Yeah.
I mean, I've only been to one other Six Flags, that's Darien Lake in Buffalo, New York, but this was better than I remember because the theming was actually pretty good. It was actually interesting seeing the animal exhibits, and in fact, you said this was primarily an animal park first?
Yeah, well, it originally opened as Marine World Africa USA, and it was purely an animal show park. They had no rides here at all when it opened. That added later during various acquisitions and takeovers that changed hands through Premier Parks, and eventually Premier Parks bought Six Flags and became a Six Flags park. And that's when the rides started going in. And they did a pretty good job with it. I think overall they've added a lot of really good thrill rides. It's really excellent for a small park, for a small regional park.
Yeah, I agree. So this park also gets the Park Geeks seal of approval. And now I'm hungry.
Yep, dinner time. It's been a long day.
I'll see you guys later.